Hi folks, it's Andy Stautz at Stautz Law, and I am back talking about preliminary inventories. This is a follow-up to my last video on preliminary inventories, where things got kind of long and there was more to say. So just to follow up on a couple of points. Once you've got the preliminary inventory prepared, so you think you've found all of the decedent's property, you think you've got reasonably good estimates of value. Talked about how that could be a professional appraisal or that could just be, a little bit of guesswork, but need some basis. You prepare the preliminary inventory, which is exactly what I'm talking about. It's just item value, item value, item value. It's just a list. And the court likes to see the list broken into separate categories. Especially in Marion County, is probably the most demanding. And some of these categories are always empty. Some are like, stock certificates. No one has stock certificates anymore. So it's kind of weird sometimes how it breaks out, but it doesn't matter what the sections are because ultimately it's just a list and then you've got a total. Easy enough. So once you've prepared this, you need to basically record it. So in a supervised estate, you file it because supervised estates, right? The court is involved at every step. In an unsupervised estate, you don't need to file it. You just need to say, "Hi, court, I promise I did it." And you also have to promise that the other beneficiaries of the unsupervised estate got a chance to see it or did see it. So I think best practice there is probably just to send the inventory. Instead of doing, they can see it if they want to, just send the inventory to everybody, say, here it is, and then file the verification with the court saying, yep, we prepared it and distributed it. Because, with a lot of these administration things, the more, the more clear and upfront you are, the lower your risk of conflict. And conflict is the most expensive thing you can possibly do in a probate administration. So I'm trying to think if there are any other topics I wanted to cover, but I think that might have been it. You go searching for the property, you account for its value, you make a list, you tell the court you did it, and then you either show it to the court or distribute, show it to the other people. And like I said, it's the basis, it's the starting point that you'll track to get to the final inventory and the closing statement. So it's important to get it right. And preparing it is kind of the first big project for the personal representative. So there's usually lots of back and forth between me and my clients on, okay, what do we got here? So that's all I have on preliminary inventories. I'm sure there are other topics or other questions that I could cover, and I might later, but that's all for now. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and tune in next time. Give me a call if you've got any questions about probate administration, because I love to help. Bye now.